Tokyo, 2030. A massive glowing crack just appears in the sky, totally out of nowhere. The government panics, obviously. 100 elite soldiers are sent in to investigate this mysterious rift. Their mission? See what's on the other side. But that mission, it turned into a total bloodbath. Out of those 100 brave souls, only one guy makes it back alive. Just one. Our hero can't forget it. He watched everyone die just so he could escape with the truth. It was pure chaos inside. Monsters everywhere, ripping through his friends and comrades, everyone he knew. Even his commander didn't make it. Alone and traumatized, he's the sole survivor. Then, things get serious. The government forms the Force, an elite task force with one goal: close those rifts for good. But here's the problem: volunteers ran out fast. Like, real fast. Nobody wants a one-way ticket to hell. So, they start drafting regular people. Yep, random citizens being dragged into a war they didn't ask for. It's a forced lottery. Your name gets picked, and you're heading straight into the meat grinder. But there's a catch. You need aptitude. Only the chosen ones actually make it into the Force. How do they tell? The weapons decide. The weapon you're given determines if you've got the stuff. Our main character remembers the day he got picked. Honestly, it was the absolute worst day ever. Talk about bad luck. He hits rock bottom when his assigned weapon turns out to be, well, trash. He's literally shaking, holding a broken sword. One look and he knows he is absolutely, completely screwed. This has to be a mistake, he thinks. A broken blade? That's not a weapon, that's a death sentence. Boom! A monster lunges. It's too fast. Before he can even move, he's captured and tossed aside. He slams into the ground hard, but what he didn't know: even trash weapons have secrets. That broken sword? It's special. Suddenly, yellow lightning starts arcing from his hand. Real power. With every bit of strength left, he pushes through the pain. He's not going down without a fight. Just one hit, he growls. If he's gonna die, he's taking a piece of this thing with him. He actually lands a strike. Then ding, a golden system screen appears right in front of his face. Achievement unlocked. He's the first person to ever land a hit on an area boss. Talk about luck. His level shoots straight to 10. And even better, the system announces that an evolution is ready. He watches, stunned, as his crappy weapon starts transforming. This is the moment everything changes. Now he's got the hunger. He starts hunting, taking down monster after monster, leveling up like a beast. He grinds all the way to level 60. This is the story of a failure saving the world. The ultimate zero-to-hero journey. And with that little teaser out of the way, let's get into the present. Headlines are screaming. The Force is starting another massive recruitment drive for the latest gates. It's been a year since the rifts first appeared, and honestly, the world hasn't been the same since. These portals are everywhere, and the nightmare fuel coming out of them is getting worse by the day. That's why they built the Gate Investigation Unit. Basically, humanity's last line of defense against the monsters. Thanks to the Force, people can breathe a little easier. They're the ones doing the heavy lifting. Most of their ranks are just regular people who got drafted. Your neighbors, your friends, they're fighting. The officials claim they're doing everything to keep us safe. You know, the usual government PR talk. They want us to live without fear. But tell that to the people actually facing those monsters. Today marks a new recruitment cycle. If you get the notification, there's no running. You're in. If your name is on that list, you better be ready to show up for the selection process. Cut to an ordinary house. We meet a kid with glasses who just got absolutely wrecked by a blonde. She calls him a useless little brother. Harsh. Meet our protagonist, Mimoda Awa. He's 20, unemployed, and currently getting bullied in his own living room. Not exactly hero material. He takes a knee to the gut and wonders why is his life such a disaster. Poor guy, his backstory is rough. Lost his mom 10 years ago, and his dad remarried way too quickly. New stepmom, new stepsister. And basically, zero respect for our boy. Welcome to his life. This kid treats our main character like a human punching bag just to blow off some steam. His family has zero trust in him, and at school, he's a total outcast who doesn't fit in anywhere. He finally hits rock bottom, realizing everything has been stripped away from him. Lying there in the dirt, he thinks if he just had a purpose, he'd take it in a heartbeat. He even starts dreaming of the impossible. Like, what if he could suddenly use magic? Sounds completely insane, right? Well, maybe not as crazy as what happens next. Out of nowhere, he gets a literal notification from something called the Force. Our hero starts groggily waking up from being unconscious, wondering what the hell just happened. What time is it? He checks his phone and notices a weird message waiting for him. He opens it and realizes he's actually been chosen as a candidate for the Force. It's a recruitment notice. The selection starts tonight at 7 p.m. sharp. And get this, if you don't show up voluntarily, they'll come and take you by force. He just stares at the screen in total silence. Then, the skepticism kicks in. Has to be a prank, he thinks. Some kind of sick, Cruel joke. He tosses his phone aside, but deep down, he's desperately hoping it's real. Could this be his one-way ticket out of this living hell? Suddenly, the air begins to glitch. Like a digital error in reality, someone materializes right there, calling out for Mimoda. That's our boy, and the guy who just appeared? He's from the Force, and he's carrying a sword. Mimoda's freaking out, demanding to know who this man is and why he's invading his room. The man just smiles. We're the beacon of hope for humanity, the Gate Exploration Unit. He walks over and tells Mimoda he was supposed to be there at 10. He'd already been informed about the recruitment, but he missed his window. His expression goes cold. Since the kid didn't arrive on time, they had to come fetch him. Total shock. Mimoda finally realizes the message was real, and this man is his only hope. This is it. His chance to finally escape the nightmare of his daily life. But the recruiter, a guy with purple hair, isn't interested in a heart-to-heart. He grabs Mimoda's wrist. No more waiting around, he growls. Mimoda tries to ask for a second to breathe, but the recruiter shuts him down instantly. We are strictly out of time, kid. Mimoda tries to argue, but the man cuts him off. Time is money. With a terrifying fake smile, he says he hates wasting even a second. Then, his colleague steps in. She channels magic through her sword, and just like that, Mimoda is knocked out cold. The recruiter thanks her, but complains she should have done that 1 minute and 36 seconds ago. Talk about a perfectionist. A while later, our protagonist finally starts to stir. He hears a soft voice and opens his eyes to see a girl with pink hair. She's leaning over him with a sweet smile. Oh, you're finally awake. Mimoda panics and scrambles away, his face turning beet red from pure embarrassment. He looks around, completely lost. Where am I? What kind of world is this? Suddenly, someone yanks him by his coat. It's the recruiter, and he's back to scolding him. You took way too long to wake up. You delayed the entire selection process because of your nap. He orders the boy to quit stalling and follow him immediately. As they run, Mimoda starts replaying the crazy events in his head while touching his coat. He distinctly remembers getting a cut during the chaos earlier. He lifts his shirt to check the wound, but there's nothing there. Was it all just a vivid dream? The recruiter isn't giving him time to think, constantly barking at him to keep up. Eventually, they arrive, and the purple-haired man stands before the crowd to begin his speech. To kick things off, the recruiter explains why they've all been gathered. Today is the day they find new brothers in arms to fight this war. One guy actually raises his hand, claiming he's ready to save humanity. Watching from the back, our hero notices how intense their energy is. It's impressive, sure, but is it just me or does this feel like a cult? Curious about the catch, he starts asking what this selection actually involves. No time for talk. The recruiter shouts that the trial is starting now. Move it! Follow me immediately. He leads them straight toward the armory. Inside, they're surrounded by weapons specifically forged to tear through monsters. But here's the thing, you can't just pick one. You need the right aptitude. The recruiter grins, dropping a bombshell. The weapon chooses its own master. Everyone, including our boy, is just standing there, looking completely lost. Then comes the rule. You've got 10 minutes to survive the selection. Those left standing at the end pass. Simple, right? Not for this crowd. People are already panicking, whispering, wait, what are we supposed to do? Mimoda realizes this whole organization is shrouded in some seriously dark mystery. But honestly, if he passes, he's finally free from his miserable home life. That's all the motivation he needs. Step 1. Grab a legendary sword. Suddenly, a shout rips through the room. Look, it's happening. Swords in the crowd start glowing like neon signs. People are freaking out. Does this mean I'm chosen? The excitement in the air is electric. The recruiter just smiles. If your blade glows, get to the designated zone. Our hero starts sweating bullets. He needs his sword to light up fast. At this point, he doesn't care what weapon he gets. A rusty spoon? Fine. He just needs a ticket out of there. Then he hears it. That same weird sound from when he first woke up. He asks a nearby old-timer, "You hear that?" The man hears nothing. But for our boy, it's loud. A bell. Clear as day. He follows the ringing through the crowded room. He reaches for a hilt, and the second he touches it, absolute power surge. A massive wave of energy explodes, leaving everyone nearby completely stunned. But then, agony. A sharp, brutal pain stabs right through his chest. A portal rips open beneath his feet. Then a voice inside his head. I choose you. It's some bizarre, terrifying creature trying to make contact. The entity starts to introduce itself as everything around him goes sideways. Strange green markings begin crawling across his skin like glowing tattoos. Total panic sets in, but the monster just growls. The contract is sealed. My blessing is yours forever. He's officially possessed by something ancient. The recruiter rushes over, asking if he's still in one piece. Clutching his head, our hero wonders if he's finally lost his damn mind. That's when the purple-haired girl notices his sword is blazing with light. Nice work, kid. Everyone is staring, wondering what kind of monster weapon he grabbed. The glow only gets brighter, vibrating with a terrifying amount of raw power. He looks at the blade. This is it. He's finally going to be strong. No more being the victim. He can finally change his entire destiny. Cut to a few weeks later, at the training center, Momoda's real journey begins. So, the sword picked him. It's official. He's part of the force whether he's ready or not. It's been exactly 1 week since his new life in this organization officially kicked off. He thought he'd finally escaped his terrifying sister, but honestly, this was not the plan. The training is absolute torture. Physically brutal and mentally draining, they're working him to the bone. Look at his face, totally blank. He's realized one thing. At this rate, he's a dead man. He had no idea training would be this intense. He's seriously questioning his life choices right now. He thought he'd jump straight into combat. I mean, he's got special weapons. Why the boot camp? He remembers his little fantasy. Join the organization, live the dream, be a legend. Total delusion. This isn't a hero's journey, it's just one long, painful marathon of pure suffering. Suddenly, a colleague walks up. Meet Hawa Asaka, a veteran from the 4th Squadron. He mentions their training inside a gate later. Then he asks why the kid looks so traumatized. The old man reveals he told the boy's roommate 3 days ago to pass on the message. Someone clearly forgot to tell him, but the old man just laughs it off, classic veteran energy. Whatever, let's just head to the gate together, he says, flashing a sharp smile. A bit later, both of them arrive at the designated gate hidden deep in the forest. Everyone's already there. Perfect. But then, the resident red-haired jerk spots our hero. He looks deeply irritated. What is HE doing here? He asks, glaring at the protagonist. He makes it clear. If the newbie gets in the way, things are going to get difficult fast. But the old man steps in, explaining that he's the one who brought Mimoda along today. He gives a lecture. Failing to share info is a rookie mistake he won't tolerate in this force. The red-haired guy shuts up and apologizes. The old man just pats his back and grins. Time to get ready, he announces. He points toward the swirling energy of the gate. This is where they'll be training today. And honestly, it looks pretty intimidating. He admits it's dangerous for a level 1 rookie, but the captain should be fine with a veteran. He brings out this strange-looking robot. Think of it as a high-tech safety sensor. They're supposed to use this tool to measure and confirm the danger classification one last time. He tells the squad they need to move forward and do their best to teach Mimoda. But silence. Everyone is totally ignoring him. Talk about a blow to the old man's ego. Feeling a bit depressed, the blonde veteran sighs. Fine, but I still need to go with them. He's supposed to use the robot to premeditate the danger levels, just to be sure. But then he remembers, I checked it yesterday and everything was fine. It rarely changes that fast. So, he decides to just skip that step entirely. Famous last words in a story like this. Sign this document before we enter, he tells Mimoda, handing over the official paperwork. He tries to give the kid a bit of confidence. You're a rookie, sure, but the sword chose you. He explains the process. No pens needed. Just sign with your hand and focus your energy. Mimoda places his hand on the document and closes his eyes, heart pounding in his chest. Next thing he knows, whoosh, he's being sucked into the portal and transported inside. It's a mystical world. Lush, beautiful, and absolutely crawling with lethal monsters. The old man smiles, welcoming the boy to the other world tucked inside the gate. He's full of confidence. First goal, kill the boss. Everything else is just target practice. Go ahead and have some fun with the mobs, he adds. Training officially starts now. Immediately, the red-haired guy, Shuga, jumps in and starts tearing monsters apart like nothing. Is that it? He scoffs. The other guys are actually impressed. The jerk is undeniably strong. The old man watches, nodding. When the weapon chooses you, the fighting just comes naturally. Our hero just nods, still processing the carnage. All right then, the veteran says. Let's move. He points out that the area is mostly clear of monsters and suggests using the downtime for a homework review. While they settle in, the old man leans in, asking if our boy actually knows the secret to closing a force gate. Simple, he says. Find the dungeon tucked inside the gate, track down the monster hiding within, and take it out. Kill the boss, and boom, gate close, everyone goes home. At least, that's how it is supposed to work. The old man smiles, genuinely impressed. Look at you, he beams, seeing the hero's hard work finally pay. But then, he drops a crucial tip. See, you can always spot the boss because of one specific detail. Look for a red cross right on its forehead. Whatever you do, he warns, do not forget that mark. Cutting the chatter, the sensei steps up. Watch closely, he demands, preparing to demonstrate some high-level. The secret? Aim for the ears. That is the weak spot. Meanwhile, our hero is internally screaming with nerves. This is it, the moment of truth. He is finally about to face a real monster with nothing but his blade. He creeps toward this weird-looking bat creature, and then immediately loses his cool and jumps back. He is so terrified he practically tackles his classmates. The teacher just sighs. Kid, watch your weapon's reach. You cannot just swing wildly. You have got to know your range. Our hero takes a shaky swing, but whiff, total miss. The old man watches the awkward display and tries to be encouraging. Hey, good hustle, I guess. Everyone learns at their own pace, he says, trying to save the boy's dignity. Spoiler, it did not work. He tells them to keep grinding so they do not get left in the dust. Meanwhile, our hero is wallowing in self-doubt. I'm useless, he thinks. Suddenly, Hayasaka steps up, acting all cool. Stand back. I will handle the... He promises to wrap this up so they can get back to training tomorrow. But wait, someone else wants the glory. The resident red-haired show-off pushes past everyone. One hit, he brags. That is all I need for this loser. And honestly, he actually does it. One clean strike and the monster is toast. Talk about making it look easy. Too easy, the bully mocks. This boss was a total joke. Even the teacher looks a little impressed by the speed. Feeling himself, the redhead starts gloating. I told you I am the strongest one here. No competition. He turns around to take his victory lap, but his face goes pale. Something else just stepped out of the shadows. Before he can even blink, this new monster absolutely levels him. The class watches in pure, unadulterated horror. The sight is so brutal that our protagonist's stomach does a 360, and he starts losing his lunch right there. As he heaves on the ground, everyone else is frozen. The pressure coming off this thing, it is soul-crushing. Boss? This is not just a boss, it is a nightmare. The hero has only one thought left. Asterisk run. I need to get out now. The teacher snaps into action, grabbing the hero's arm as the entire group starts a desperate sprint for their lives. Retreat! Get out now, he screams, but the chaos is already spiraling out of control. Disaster strikes. Another student gets snagged by the beast. Thinking fast, the teacher shoves the rest into a nearby cave. Stay quiet, he hisses. He explains that these things do not see, they sense body heat like thermal cameras. Panic boils over. One student grabs the teacher's collar, shaking him. What the hell is going on? The boss is dead. We killed it. Why are we not back in the real world yet? He is losing it. The teacher looks grim. There is only one reason why the exit has not opened. The boss, it changed. It is a rare, terrifying phenomenon. Basically, it is a brutal survival of the fittest battle for territory. Two bosses enter, one boss leaves. They fight until one is dead, and then things get really gross. The winner does not just kill the loser, it devours it, absorbing every bit of its power and essence. This new super boss is what is left. And this specific monster? It is a specialized mimicry type. It can imitate the abilities of everything it eats. It is an evolving nightmare that gets deadlier with every bite. If that thing is out there, the teacher whispers, this isn't a training exercise anymore. We're in serious trouble. The students are paralyzed. This was supposed to be a simple mission, but the stakes just hit the ceiling. What do we do? A boy stammers. The teacher's answer is chilling. Welcome to a level 4 danger zone. Level 4? The hero's heart sinks. He knows exactly what that means, and it is definitely not good. You need a full squad of elite hunters with a captain and vice captain just to survive a level 4. Panic turns into pure terror as the students realize the truth. They are not just training, they are prey. They're all gonna die. One guy is just losing it, wondering how things went so south, when suddenly, a girl cuts him off. She's shouting that they need to make a break for the entrance right now. But the rest of the group, totally confused. They're like, what are you even talking about, lady? She explains that if they came in through that door, it's gotta be the way out. Simple, right? Wrong. One of the guys absolutely snaps. He marches up to her, asking if she's gone completely insane. He yells that the only way out is through the boss's corpse, and speak of the devil. Right on cue, the big bad shows up and literally deletes his teammate right in front of everyone. The boss isn't done yet, though. It grabs the angry guy too, making him the third student to go. Our hero is paralyzed. He realizes they've been spotted and they need to move right now. But then, betrayal. A total snake moves in. It's their own teacher, and he pushes the boy down. He leaves the kid on his knees like a sacrificial lamb. This guy is straight up trash, honestly. With this creepy, twisted look, the teacher says he has no choice. He's totally given up. He claims the boy is too weak to survive, so he should at least be a useful distraction. Desperate, Mimoda begs him to stop, but when he looks back, those glowing eyes are right there. A massive red cross glows on the monster's forehead. Yeah, this is definitely the area boss. His whole body is shaking. He knows he can't fight. He's just waiting for the end now. He figures he's just another name on the casualty list, just like the others who fell. He braces for the impact, but his body won't even move. Talk about a nightmare scenario. Suddenly, he's snatched up into the air. Hanging there, he starts thinking about all his hard work. Was all that training and studying just for this? To die like a bug in some hole? Then, bam! The monster slams him into the ground with enough force to shatter the entire floor. Everything hurts. It's that blinding, soul-crushing pain that tells you you're in real trouble. He feels that warm red juice flowing, but his limbs, they're turning ice cold. This is it. But wait, voices. He hears his dead friends crying for help from inside the monster's gut. They're begging not to die, and those screams start echoing inside the boy's head like a drum. Something snaps. He's not going out like this. He reaches for his sword, and then magic happens. His eye completely changes. Glowing with power, he swings his broken blade with everything he's got, and he actually lands a hit. He's stunned. This is the first time he's ever hurt a monster. But before he can celebrate, he hears a strange sound. He looks up, searching for the source. Suddenly, ding, an orange screen pops up in his face. It's a literal achievement notification. The system tells him he just landed a first strike against an area boss. Talk about timing. Our hero is floored. It looks exactly like a video game interface, right there in midair. Notifications start flooding in like crazy, and then he sees the one that changes everything. His weapon is evolving. His old busted sword starts cracking as something inside tries to break free. It's like a shell shattering. The protagonist realizes his basic blade is undergoing a total transformation. When the smoke clears, he's holding a completely different weapon, a legendary tier sword, fully awakened. The boss lets out a deafening roar, totally breaking his focus. No more time to stare at screens. He's still on the ground, staring up at a literal mountain of muscle and malice. Honestly, he doesn't think he can win. Not even with the new fancy sword in his hand. He remembers his life back home. His family hated him. They were actually happy he joined the force. They were basically waiting for him to die. If he goes out now, they all win. That thought, it sets his soul on fire. He starts tearing up, but this isn't sadness, it's pure fury. He begins to radiate insane energy. Blue and yellow lightning starts dancing all across his skin. He charges, full power, straight at the boss, moving like a bolt of pure, unadulterated vengeance. He declares he'll use his own two hands to carve out a place where he actually belongs. The beast scrambles to shield itself, desperate. Our boy, he is not backing down. Narrow miss, he pivots, swinging his blade and finally drawing first blood on the boss. No skills, no experience, does not matter. He lunges straight in, driven by pure survival instinct. Against all odds, he carves right through its defenses. The boss is actually going down. Silence. He stares at the monster remains, absolutely stunned by what he just pulled off. But wait, victory is a lie. Out of nowhere, a brutal, bone-crushing blow slams into him. His mind races. How? The thing was dead. He felt it. Then, the horror sets in. He looks closer and his heart stops. There is not just one. There are two identical beasts. It is a nightmare trap. Cut one down, and two more sprout up to take its place. The creatures lunge, dragging his broken body. They are ready to finish the job right now. Everything fades to black. He wonders, is this really how it all ends for him? Boom! A massive wall of fire erupts, incinerating one of the monsters in a split second. Dropped! He hits the floor, gasping for air and wondering who the hell just saved him. Through the smoke, he spots a familiar crest. A uniform. Someone from the force is here. It is a girl. And honestly, she looks like a total demon standing in those flames. The beast tries to regenerate, clearly pissed off, but its opponent is not even breaking a sweat. She's glowing, wreathed in fire like a goddess of destruction, ready to end this whole fight. Then a total shift. Her hair turns icy blue as her entire presence goes sub-zero. Absolute zero. Her powers just flip from blazing heat to a freezing, lethal winter chill. With a terrifyingly sweet smile, she traps the boss and freezes it into a solid statue. The exit portal hums to life. She is about to leave when she spots someone on the dirt. It is our protagonist. He blinks his eyes open, finding this mysterious woman staring right at him. Seeing he is still breathing, she decides she cannot just leave him. She is taking him along. But then, things get awkward. He accidentally grabs her. Well, let us just say her airbags. Panic mode. He is paralyzed with shock. That was definitely not the plan, I promise you. His face is bright red. He wants the ground to swallow him whole right about now. She just tilts her head. You have been holding on to those for a while now, haven't you? Instant KO. A fountain of strawberry juice erupts from his nose like a broken fire hydrant. He passes out instantly while she panics, begging him to stay with the living. Classic. Later on, he finally wakes up, head spinning, wondering where on earth he has ended up. Good morning. There she is, bright and cheerful, as if she did not just freeze a god. She tells him the healers did their thing and patched up his broken, battered body. Apparently, he took quite the beating back there. Talk about a rough day at the office. It all comes back. The gate, the monsters, the fire. His brain is working overtime. He stares at her, realization hitting. Was she the one who pulled him out of hell? She giggles, bringing up the juice explosion. Yeah, she is never letting him live that down. He knows he owes her his life. He clears his throat, trying to find the right words. But then stab. A sharp, localized pain shoots through his chest, making him double over. She gently places her hand over his. It hurts, right? You really went through the ringer. Just breathe, she whispers. Her voice is so soft now, telling him to just let go. She says the pain is good. It is proof. Proof that he is still here, that he is alive. That breaks him. He thinks of his fallen team, and the tears just start flooding out. She notices immediately. Her expression softens. Are you crying? She asks, almost in a whisper. She smiles, telling him it is okay. First gates are always a nightmare, pure, unadulterated terror. And then she leans in, sharing a secret that is about to change everything for him. She tells our boy he did a hell of a job just surviving, calling him one tough cookie. Getting praised like that? The floodgates open and the poor kid starts sobbing even harder. She tells him to stop apologizing and just breathe. It's just us here, she says. It's okay to cry. In that moment, he realizes she's actually kind, like genuinely kind. He's totally caught off guard. But then wait, something's missing. His glasses, he realizes he's not even wearing them anymore. Usually, he's blind as a bat without them. But now, he can see everything in perfect, high-def detail. Right then, the girl realizes she forgot her manners. She gives a little smile introduction time. Her name is Nagashima Misaki. Not to be rude, the boy introduces himself as Mimoda Awa. But the vibe is ruined. Enter Hato, vice captain of the 1st Division, looking like a total buzzkill. He doesn't waste words. He orders our boy to get up and follow him immediately. No questions asked. Misaki's not having it though. She asks what the hell he's doing, but he just cold shoulders her. He tells her it's an urgent summons straight from headquarters. And yeah, that's never a good sign. Then comes the bombshell. The commander announces the boy is being hauled off to trial for the incident. Next thing you know, he's standing in front of a full organizational trial. Talk about a warm welcome. The crowd is whispering, shocked to see a kid like him. Then the main guy decides to get right to the point. Let's skip the small talk, he says. He starts blaming our boy for a massive misjudgment at the gate. 23 deaths. That's the count. And they're pinning every single one of them on this rookie. He claims the report proves the boy checked the rank. They're basically saying he led everyone into a trap. The accusation? He intentionally led his squad into a high-level gate. Pure, cold-blooded murder. Or so they say. Awa is absolutely floored. He tries to defend himself, his voice shaking, but before he can even speak, BZZT, a massive electric shock rips through his handcuffs, sending him straight to the floor in agony. The vice captain just stands there, lying through his teeth, acting like he's the one being wronged here. He looks down at the boy, trembling on his knees. Do you even understand the weight of your crimes? He literally calls him a murderer. Right there, in front of the whole world. Talk about a bad day. Desperate, the boy looks around and spots his teacher. But wait, something is very, very wrong here. The teacher speaks up, but not to help. He claims he told the kid to double-check the dungeon rank. They claim it's impossible for a Gates level to change that fast, unprecedented, which means he's the scapegoat. And just like that, the trap is sprung. The vice captain points out they have a veteran witness. I mean, who are they going to believe? A decorated veteran or some weak-looking rookie they barely know? Case closed. The veteran's word is credible, and our boy, he's basically already guilty in their eyes. A man steps up and tells him to keep his mouth shut. Awa just stares at his teacher, completely broken. Why? Why lie like that? He's looking at the man he trusted, wondering how things went so sideways. He realizes they think it's unnatural for someone as weak as him to survive. It shouldn't be possible. Then it clicks. This isn't a trial, it's revenge. He's the easy target they can blame everything on. The vice captain keeps going, calling him shameless and saying he clearly doesn't regret a thing. The nerve. Suddenly, the heavy doors swing open. Someone steps forward, and the entire atmosphere in the room shifts. A voice rings out, saying the force needs to be united to handle these gates. Enter the 1st Division captain, Finn Adelaide, the silver-haired legend herself. And let me tell you, she does not look happy. She makes it clear putting teammates at risk or being weak isn't just bad. It's unacceptable. Period. Without missing a beat, she triggers her magical ability. Suddenly, our boy is wrapped in some glowing restraints. Her magic starts to shift, taking the form of something terrifying. It's basically a magical execution block. Public execution. That's the sentence. Our boy's heart stops. This has to be a nightmare, right? He looks at the crowd, and they're laughing. That's when it hits him. Nobody was ever going to believe him. It doesn't matter where he runs or what he does. This was always going to be the final outcome. The captain just cold stares him and snaps her fingers. Game over, kid. And then, things get crazy. Our boy was just trying to be a good guy, but that blade was inches from ending his whole career. Then ice. Everything stops. The woman in charge is fuming, screaming, Who the hell thinks they can stop me? It's her, the captain of the 3rd Division, Onigashima herself. Talk about a legendary entrance. Looking at this pink-haired girl, our main character is losing his mind. He's absolutely floored. He knew she was special, sure, but a captain? He never saw that coming in a million years. Meanwhile, the 1st Division captain is demanding answers. Onigashima, what is the meaning of this? She doesn't even blink. She tells them straight, this kid is a total rookie, a complete beginner. Making him take the fall for the entire incident? That's not just unfair, it's straight up insane. The crowd starts buzzing. You can feel the energy. Everyone knows things are about to get wild. A guy named Finn thinks it makes sense, but warns that this boy could be a monster in disguise. That's when Shinga chimes in, calling him nothing more than a filthy animal. Real charming guy, right? He's demanding to know who else is going to take responsibility if it's not the boy. He actually grabs the girl by the head. You want to adopt this useless dog? He sneers at her. Our pink-haired legend just steps back, throws her hands to the sky, and drops a total bombshell. She's got a proposal. Mimoda is joining her squad. Now, that's what I call a power move. She'll keep him under tight surveillance and personally make sure he gets a hell of a lot stronger. Hearing the news, our protagonist is just standing there with his brain buffering. He's got zero clue what's happening. Cut to the 3rd Division headquarters a little later on. It's official, whether they like it or not. The commander announces to the room that Mimoda will be joining the rest of the crew. The rest of the squad? Yeah, they look about as enthusiastic as a bunch of statues. The captain is furious. Why are you guys always so boring? She asks, but they just ignore her. Right then, someone calls out for Misaki. It's the vice captain of the 3rd Division, and she looks serious. Meet Kija Hanka, 29 years old and clearly the one who actually handles the real work around here. She explains that the squad is confused because Misaki invited the rumored guy into their ranks. Plus, there's the small issue of the surveillance collar he's forced to wear. Not exactly a badge of honor. Kaija makes it known she's the vice captain and wishes she'd been consulted before this reckless stunt. Changing the subject, she looks at our hero and tells him he should count his lucky stars. Honestly, he got off easy. His punishment was incredibly lenient compared to what usually happens. The hero realizes it then he's only alive and not executed because Onigashima stepped in to save him. He starts wondering how to even thank her when she informs him that his first day of service is tomorrow. Wait, tomorrow? This completely catches our hero off guard. No rest for the weary, I guess. Trying to boost his ego, the captain tells him to find his confidence and give it his absolute best. Then she drops a curveball. He's going to be placed in a team because a mission is coming up. That's when Mimoda remembers the rules he was told. He needs to form a pair. But it's not just anyone. He has to find a teammate with abilities equal to his own. He approaches the group and asks if any of them are brave enough to face him. One guy snarks back immediately, asking if he's just going to let them die like his last teammates. The captain steps in again to reassure them. It's okay, she says. He won't do that. And get this, she declares that if he ever pulls something like that, she'll take the full responsibility. The vice captain isn't buying it. She points out that nobody is going to just take Misaki's word for it. They need a real way to handle this because no one actually trusts what's happening. But Misaki is radiating confidence. She declares she'll bet her very own life on him. That news hits the room like a lightning bolt. Everyone is stunned into total silence. After that massive declaration, the commander just dismisses everyone. Talk about a cliffhanger. A little while later, our hero calls out to Misaki. Surprise! She turns and asks what he wants. Our boy is genuinely confused. Why go this far? Stopping his execution and literally betting her own life? The girl doesn't say a word. She just steps in close, like, way too close, moving lightning fast. She grabs his coat, yanking him right toward her face. It is a total heart-pounding moment, until, mood ruined. She starts pinching his cheeks like a toddler. Talk about embarrassing our main character. Misaki asks if he actually expected a kiss. Please. She explains he's officially under her supervision now. With a playful little wink, she reminds him that her orders are absolute, no exceptions allowed. But the hero is totally distracted. Why? Because she is pressing those, airbags right against him. Talk about assertive. The captain pins him against the wall, finally admitting she's been watching him. Turns out, his sword skills look exactly like someone she used to look up to. Someone special. Someone she respected deeply. It is a heavy revelation. The protagonist finally starts to understand her. He realizes they share the same light and immediately asks where this mysterious person is now. The answer? Not good. She tells him they are gone, died, protecting her from a terrible fate. Seeing the hero made her feel like it was finally her turn to protect someone else for once. Suddenly, she admits she knows he is not that same person, but she still won't leave him behind. As she walks away, she apologizes for the vibe getting way too serious all of a sudden. The message is clear. Do your best. Join a team before tomorrow or it is game over. Left alone, the main character is deep in thought about everything Misaki said, Then voices call out. A group of guys approaches, looking awkward. One apologizes for being such a jerk earlier today. He says they were way too harsh. Hugging the girl, he offers the hero a spot on the team. It is fine, he says, since the captain clearly went through hell to keep him safe. The hero thanks Misaki in his heart, swearing he will finally prove his worth this time around. But man, he had no idea. At this point, the real nightmare was only just getting started. Flash forward, the protagonist is battling these weird, twisted monsters in a desperate fight for survival. In a split second, he is plummeting down a mountain. His transformation, just getting warmed up. Back in the present, Misaki wonders if Mopi actually managed to find himself a decent team. Right then, the vice captain interrupts. One team entered the gate way earlier than they should have. Meanwhile, our boy is inside the gate, level 3 danger zone. Things are looking pretty grim. He remembers the cliff below was literally piled with monster corpses. He barely lands on his feet. He looks around, and nothing. Everyone is gone, vanished into thin air in the middle of nowhere. Did they get lost? Or, and this is the scary thought, did they just straight up ditch him? Suddenly, a wolf lunges. No time to think. Luckily, a random boy blocks the strike just in time. This thing looks like some freaky alien species. The protagonist doesn't hesitate, he counters immediately. He lands a perfect hit. Boom. But he hit it so hard that half of its face is destroyed. It hits him. He thought he finally made friends, but he was abandoned. And yeah, that hurts. But he has to fight. One big question remains, why even bother? What is the point of this? Then he remembers Misaki's words, how she bet her entire life on a guy like him. That is his reason. For the first time ever, someone actually believes in him and gives praise. He's not letting that go. Right at that moment, 3 more wolves strike at the boy. Boom, a perfect strike. But uh-oh, he overdid it. Half the monster's face, just gone. Obliterated. Talk about overkill. But then it hits him harder than that punch. He thought he had friends. Instead, abandoned. Left behind like yesterday's trash. It stings, man. It really does. But the fight isn't over yet. Not today. One question keeps spinning in his head, though. Why? Why keep swinging? Right then, a memory flashes back. He remembers Jin Misaki's words. She talked about taking control of her own life. That was the spark. Suddenly, it all makes sense. He finally has a reason to stand tall. Why? Someone believed in him. But there's no time to celebrate. 3 wolves are midair, lunging straight for his throat. Our boy is finally fed up with being the damsel in distress. He knows he can't just sit back and be protected forever. With a look of pure determination, he swears a blood oath to everyone watching he's going to be the one doing the protecting now. And right then, the system goes absolutely wild. Notifications start spamming his vision like crazy. One message stands out, his weapon is literally evolving right in his hands. Talk about perfect timing. Light explodes from the blade as it charges up with pure electricity, looking like something straight out of a myth. It's got a whole new look. And get this, all that crushing pain he was feeling, it's just gone. He's left wondering if this sword is going to keep leveling up into something even more insane. But even with the fancy new gear, he's got a bad feeling that things aren't actually getting any easier. And he's right. Because of course, just when he needs a break, the massive wolf boss decides to show its face. Our hero is sweating bullets, but he hasn't lost hope. He thinks he might actually have a shot here. He charges in, putting every single ounce of strength he has into this one final desperate push. He shouts that for the sake of Anagushima, he's going to win this no matter the cost. Meanwhile, outside, those low-life traders are actually celebrating, laughing about how hilarious it was that she bet her life on him. One of them sneers that the kid got exactly what he deserved, but then a cold blade stops right at his throat. Misaki is standing there with a look that could kill, asking him to repeat exactly what he just said. The guy is a total slow poke, and only just realizes that his captain is about to end his whole career. He starts sweating, trying to stutter out an excuse about how they should all just keep quiet and leave. But the captain isn't having it. She shuts him down instantly, asking if he really thought she'd be okay with this. Her vice captain steps in, trying to get her to cool down before she actually takes someone's head off. Suddenly, an emergency broadcast from headquarters cuts through the tension like a knife. Breaking news. Gate number 23 in Region 8 has just completely vanished into thin air. The vice captain freezes. Wasn't that the exact same gate where Miyamoto was supposed to be? The traders are losing their minds seeing this. But the vice captain? He's actually got a smirk on his face. He points out that there's only one reason a gate closes like that. It means the boss is dead. The fact that the boss was taken down leaves those 3 traders absolutely shaking in their boots. While they're panicking, Misaki is sprinting through the forest, desperately searching for our hero. She finds him looking like he'd been through hell and back, his face is a mess, and he's totally spent. She rushes to his side, and the hero just looks at her, saying that she was his reason for surviving. As he struggles to his feet, he thanks her for actually accepting someone like him. He admits he's a total mess, but he refused to quit because he knew he had to change. He truly believed he could get stronger, and that belief kept him moving forward against all odds. Then, he grabs Misaki's arm and makes a promise he will never, ever betray her trust. Without a second thought, he vows to protect her and become the strongest version of himself. He looks her in the eye and tells her not to waste any more tears on someone like him. Misaki is totally caught off guard. Her heart is doing somersaults after a confession like that. Meanwhile, word starts spreading like wildfire about the rookie who soloed a level 3 gate. People can't believe it, one guy taking down a whole dungeon alone. That's just unheard of. It's honestly legendary. But of course, there's always that one hater questioning if he actually did it. Some arrogant jerk is complaining that this rookie is being way too annoying by stealing the spotlight. He's salty that a newbie managed to close the gate alone and make everyone else look bad. Even the big bosses at the Force organization are taking notice, showering the protagonist with rare praise. That scary old silver-haired lady tells him to keep grinding and stay loyal to the Anagushima name. She calls him a dog to his face. Terrified, he just nods, finally realizing the harsh truth. No matter how many bosses he kills, to them, he's still just a prisoner on a leash. As he cuts his hair, he can't help but remember that in this world, everyone still looks down on him. Oddly enough, finishing the haircut brings this strange surge of joy. He looks like a totally different person now as he makes his way through headquarters. But honestly, something else was making him feel even happier. It was the fact that he finally, actually felt like he belonged somewhere. The captain notices the change immediately and asks what sparked the sudden transformation. He tells her he just wants to get stronger. The logic? A bit fuzzy, but he rolls with it. He lets the mystery hang for a second before finally opening up about his past. He's always been the weak guy. And this was his way of saying goodbye to that old self. Feeling a bit awkward, he admits he's actually pretty embarrassed by the whole dramatic gesture. His hair colors shifted, and get this, that old scar? Completely vanished, like it was never there. The captain just smiles. To her, that scar was just proof he's a survivor. With a look that could melt stone, she tells him both the scar and the hair look amazing. Changing subjects, she announces his first official mission. She even tells him to just call her Misaki, first name basis. Now we're talking. Since they're teammates now, there's no need for those stiff, formal titles anymore. A bit later, the squad gathers for their first real test. Time to get to work. Misaki heads off to handle the prep, leaving the vice leader to introduce the new blood. The girl speaks up, asking everyone to introduce themselves and break the ice. First up is the redhead, Ina Haruki, former heir to an inn and a 3rd Division member. Then there's the green-haired guy, Human Megan, who used to run a family brewery. Both are 23 years old. Right then, our boy tries stepping forward to introduce himself. The redhead cuts him off immediately, claiming he has zero interest in ever remembering some random dude's name. Talk about a warm welcome. That one comment instantly makes our protagonist feel super awkward. Then, out of nowhere, the guy looks him dead in the eye and asks if he likes Misaki. Flustered, our boy stammers out that he's not really sure yet. Bad move. The arrogant redhead loses it. He gets visibly annoyed, calling our guy a total idiot. He just can't stand the way the hero is acting. The tension is already through the roof. The green-haired guy chimed in too. He's not a fan of our hero either, but for different reasons. He stares the protagonist down, mentioning he heard about that solo boss kill. With a look that says, "I want to kill you," he admits he expected someone less pathetic looking. Even with that boss kill under his belt, the guy still thinks our hero looks like a total weakling. The vice captain steps in, telling them both to knock it off and play nice. Misaki shows up right on cue, asking if everyone is ready to move out and hit the gate. Suddenly, the redhead is all smiles, telling her he's ready whenever she is. Such a simp. From the sidelines, Mimoda watches him, noting how the guy acts like a totally different person around her. Meanwhile, the green-haired guy whispers to our boy that his success might just be dumb luck. He makes it clear he's going to be the one to judge if it's actual skill or just a fluke. The vibe is officially weird. Our hero just nods along, trying to keep the peace. But deep down, he knows this mission is going to be anything but easy. They step through the portal and leave the base behind, headed straight for the unknown. They arrive at a level 3 danger zone, famously known as the Diamond Cave. Our boy is actually pretty impressed by the view, but the redhead tells him to stop daydreaming. The vice captain warns him, "Don't even think about letting your guard down in here." She reminds him that no matter how pretty it looks, at the end of the day, it's still a dungeon. Exactly. Just as she speaks, 2 ice cannonballs spawn in. Redhair shouts a warning to Shimoda, telling him the monsters are closing in fast. Watch out, they're coming from everywhere. But staring down a beast, our boy actually takes a second to correct him. It's Mimoda. He draws his blade and slashes. But nothing. The strike just bounces right off the shell. Meanwhile, the arrogant guy, He's just showing off, shattering a monster without breaking a sweat. His partner does the same, effortlessly destroying another cannonball like it was made of glass. Our hero is genuinely impressed. Incredible, he mutters, watching the two of them go to work. Kerr leans in, whispering that he can't let them win. Time to impress Misaki, right? The boy gets all flustered, insisting that wasn't his plan at all. Sure, buddy, we believe you. But hey, whatever the reason, he knows one thing: he has to give this his absolute best. He looks up. Another icy projectile is screaming straight toward him. This is it. Game on. Gripping his sword with both hands, he focuses, and boom, a perfectly timed fatal strike. He finally realizes the trick. Just hit the spots without crystals. Kind of obvious, but effective. It is actually so simple once you see it. No crystal? That is the sweet spot. Our boy goes into overdrive, moving toward a group of cannonballs to settle the score. One by one, he finishes them off. Absolute clinical work from our protagonist right here. From the sidelines, Red Hair is actually impressed. Wait, was that actual skill and not just luck? His buddy agrees. Then Misaki calls it out. Every single monster in the area is down. Our hero is totally spent, but hey, he did it. He defeated a massive chunk of them. But looking at his sword, he gets a gnarly, sinking feeling. Something is definitely off. Suddenly, the vice captain speaks up. Something is wrong. Really, really wrong. Like danger wrong. They've been in here for 3 hours, reached the deepest point, and still, no boss? Weird. The boy starts wondering what's up. Why is it so quiet? Where is the big bad? Then exhaustion hits him like a freight train. Every muscle in his body screams. Red Hair tries to talk trash, mocking him for being tired. Look at this weakling, he starts. But he doesn't even finish the sentence before face-planting onto the hard, cold ground. Serene collapses too. Even Misaki is suffering. Is that? Strawberry juice dripping from her nose. The vice captain is struggling too, admitting she's feeling the exact same terrible symptoms. Desperation kicks in. Our hero realizes that if this keeps up, they are all going to die. But then, ping! A menu screen pops up right in front of his eyes. A miracle. Notification: abnormal recovery is active. Just in the nick of time. System for the win. The blue-haired girl rushes over, relieved to see our boy finally opening his eyes again. Concerned, he immediately checks on the vice captain. Are you okay? He asks, voice trembling. She says yes, but she's finished. She shows him her arm completely corrupted and black. A theory starts to form. There are toxins in the air, spreading silently through the cave. They were likely poisoned without even knowing it. A stealthy, invisible killer in the mist. It's a weak toxin that built up over time. Everyone on the floor has the same mark. Our hero decides to be a gentleman, taking off his coat to keep her covered. Respect. He scans the area. It's a ghost town. Not a single soul has managed to wake up. That's when she drops the real bomb. This isn't just poison, it's turning into corrosive acid. The theory continues, and it's a nightmare. It is developing into something much more lethal. She has a gut feeling. A nasty one. This place, it isn't a cave at all. It looks more like the stomach of a giant monster. Talk about a digestive plot twist. She actually laughs. Well, that's why we couldn't find a boss. We are literally inside the boss. Our hero can only stare in shock as the reality of being digested slowly starts to hit. Wait, more monsters? It looks like this whole place might actually be, well, alive. Think of it like a human body fighting off a nasty virus. The monsters are basically the antibodies here, protecting their host from us intruders. And their one and only job? To wipe us out. Yeah, definitely something to worry about. Our boy realizes the terrifying truth: we're not just intruders, we're dinner. Are we about to be digested? Kia just scoffs, summons her blade, and takes charge. Relax, she's got this. They'll find a way out before they turn into stomach acid. But there's a catch: she was warned not to overdo it with her magic right now. Doesn't matter. She unleashes her water magic anyway. Massive wings of liquid forming around her. Her face goes cold. Saving everyone? The price is steep, but she's willing to pay it. Suddenly, she blasts her magic toward the ceiling. Absolute power on full display. She tears a hole right through the roof with zero effort. Pure, legendary strength. But poor protagonist? He gets absolutely soaked in the process. Kia just starts explaining her power. Her sword is broken, it can literally liquefy anything and slice through water-like substances effortlessly. Still, she's not satisfied. She only managed to take out a small section of this thing. Then, she just starts singing? Totally random. Our hero is losing his mind with annoyance. Good news though, the toxic air is clearing up. Then the hero notices something else. The game screen is gone too. The vice captain just stares at him like he's crazy. She has no idea what a game screen even is. Awkward. Anyway, time to move. They're running out of time. Our boy wants to evacuate everyone immediately. But wait, not so fast. This dungeon stays active until that boss monster stops breathing. They have to kill the boss. Period. Kia looks at a dead monster and gets an idea. A crazy, brilliant idea. She starts hacking away at the monster's corpse like a maniac. She's literally singing while carving a path through flesh. Talk about chaotic energy. She's tunneling through. This is our way out, she shouts, determined to break the barrier. The plan? Simple. Head straight for the center of this beast and find its vitals. Hit the organs, kill the beast. No matter how huge it is, everything has a heart. Once the heart goes, the whole monster is toast. Flashback to 5 minutes ago. The girls were hyping each other up. Focus on the now. Let's take this boss down. Plus, defeating it would make Misaki super happy. Motivation? Check. Let's go. Back to the present, the vice captain is still tearing through the monster's insides like a boss. The hero is just watching in pure shock. Is this woman brave? Or just completely insane? Her plan is beyond reckless. But then, something catches his eye off to the side. A glowing, mysterious crystal sphere. He grips his sword. This has to be the heart. No time to overthink. To save everyone, he has to destroy this thing right now. He goes for the big strike, and hoops. He slips and faceplants right into the water. Classic underdog move. The vice captain fishes him out while he whines about losing his sword. I dropped it, he cries, but she's not having it. He has to finish this himself. She looks him dead in the eye. Are you ready for this? Have you actually decided to fight? If he's found his resolve, it's time to step up. No more running, no more hesitation. The realization hits him. He takes a deep breath and dives back into the murky water. He grabs the blade. Misaki's face flashes in his mind. He has to be strong enough. He swims toward the heart, fire in his eyes. This is it, his first real step. No more games. He drives his blade deep into that glowing crystal core with everything he's got. Boom! The impact is massive. He loses his grip on the sword as the monster begins to. The beast starts howling in agony after that hit. Even our boy can't hold on and plunges back into the water again. Both he and the vice captain are caught in a violent current and dragged downward like they're going over a massive waterfall. Finally, they manage to break free from the monster. It looks like it's finally been defeated. The hero tells Kija she was incredible, but she explains that it was actually Mimoda who landed the final, crushing blow. At that moment, Mimoda asks if the hero could actually see the others. She nods. After the boy leaves, she heads back toward the monster with a cold, violent look in her eyes. She extracts some strange, glowing sample. With a suspicious look, she declares that the Adias Portes in Ford from mission is officially complete. Sometime later at the hospital, the red-haired guy starts complaining that the boy is already asleep, calling him weak. But responding to the provocation, the green-haired one tells him to stop making excuses. He admits they were simply immature. Misaki approaches the boy, telling him he needs to sleep and rest well because that poison might still be lingering in his system. Being a total simp, he says that as long as she's taking care of him, he'll be fine. Curious, the red-haired guy asks where Kija and that other guy are. The girl responds that they weren't feeling well and headed home. Meanwhile, our protagonist is visiting the Force's high-tech research laboratory. The blue-haired girl explains that they study everything beyond the gates and how to help those struggling inside them. She says they developed the gear for the group and that the boy will be under their care now. Concerned, the boy remarks that everyone seems incredibly busy at the moment. He notices she seems way too familiar with this place, and she explains that she has an old friend from school working there. She says that she visits often to see him. His name is Chio. She mentions the boy might find him a bit unapproachable since he only thinks about research, but that deep down, he's a good person. As they go deeper into the laboratory, the girl finally identifies Chio, the person she was talking about. However, upon seeing the man's face, the protagonist is completely shocked. The vice captain steps up and announces she will introduce him. She explains that this man's name is Seishio, the head of research. She says this is chief researcher Shio, 8 years old, and that Nantis has also been his best friend since high school. Wait, what? The boy questions who said he was her friend, but she explains that he gets along perfectly well with her. The girl calls the chief Shio-sama, and then the protagonist asks if he's actually a man. Deeply irritated, the head of research approaches, questioning if there is a problem with his name. Upon seeing the collar, he realizes this is the guy who is currently under supervision. With a terrifying expression, the chief says that if he had been executed, he would have conducted some interesting experiments on his body and that he already had all the plans prepared for that exact moment. Intervening, the girl says that as he can see, the chief is just passionate about research and that they both have some misunderstandings. The hero asks if he shouldn't stop smoking inside the Pactor laboratory, but she explains it is his space and therefore his rules. Kija comments that they have already wasted too much time. She knows how impatient the boy is, so she decides to show the scientist the sample she collected. He's instantly fascinated. Impressed, he says this is fantastic and that he will take a look at it immediately. Curious, the boy asks what it is, and our boy casually mentions it's just fluid from that giant monster he crushed. Talk about a flex. The researcher's eyes light up: venom, rare minerals, the works. It is a total goldmine for him. Jackpot, he yells. This sample is exactly what his research needed to blast past the current limits. Then, the vice captain chimes in. Shio here is a total sword nerd, so why not let him check the blade? He suggests our protagonist let the expert analyze his weapon. Time for a professional opinion. Shio takes one look and freezes. The rumors said this blade was a broken, useless piece of junk. But looking at it now, not even close. Moto admits it has changed a lot since he first bought it. The chief is instantly hooked. Explain. Everything. Now, he demands, practically leaning in with curiosity. So, our hero asks about those screens that pop up when monsters die. You know the usual stuff, right? Wrong. The research chief looks like his brain just short-circuited. He has never heard of anything like that. Awkward silence. Our boy thought everyone saw status windows. Meanwhile, Shio's head is practically smoking. Kid, listen to me, Shio sighs. You really should not apply your own logic to everyone else. He explains that for the chosen ones, skills and swords are fixed. They do not just evolve. Usually, these things are static copies of the soul meant to fit the user perfectly from the start. They never change. Ever. It is like a spiritual blueprint that is set in stone for life. But our boy, he is the glitch. He must be the only person who can see these things. It is not just luck, it is a unique ability built into the sword itself. And now, Shio is obsessed. He goes full mad scientist mode. When do they appear? What is the trigger? What is the secret sauce? He is completely lost in the possibilities, hyper-focusing like a man possessed by 1,000 questions. He starts rambling about criteria and logic. The guy is absolutely relentless once he gets started. After that bizarre interrogation, the smoker finally tells him to come back tomorrow for a deeper look. But then, the mood shifts. The next mission is the Deep Sea City, a total death zone. Danger level 4. Just hearing that information is enough to make our hero's heart skip a beat. Seeing his face, the blue-haired girl asks if anyone actually explained how danger levels work to him. It is not just about the boss's raw power. There is a whole lot more to the math of survival. You have to account for the swarm, the number of monsters, and their deadly offspring. We are talking about creatures that share the same nasty DNA as the mother monster herself. Our boy is just blinking. He has never heard any of this information before today. The warrant officer explains a weird rule. The higher the danger, the fewer the offspring you will find. No one knows why. It is one of those mysteries that still keeps researchers guessing. Maybe the truly strong just do not like grouping together? Or maybe there is a darker logic at play. Turns out, monsters and humans might actually have this weird piece of information in common. Our hero is literally shaking now. Okay, stop right there. You are officially scaring me, he warns. She tells him to just forget it. It is just a hypothesis, not a proven fact. Look on the bright side. Fewer monsters mean you can focus all that energy on the main fight. Suddenly, something clicks. Another epiphany hits our hero's mind like a ton of bricks. The vice captain cuts in. The rest of the team is still in the dark about the new task. Go check on them, she suggests. It is time for him to pay his friends a visit. As the kid walks away, Shio's expression goes cold. How long do we have to keep watching him? The vice captain sighs. There you go again, saying scary stuff. But Shio is being realistic. The tone shifts dark and heavy. He comments that the way that sword shines is very familiar. It glows just like that boy. He looks at her, his voice dropping to a serious whisper. Make sure he does not suffer the same fate. As she leaves, Kij has one more question. Does he want to know if the boy's sword changes again? Shio grabs his wrist tightly. Yes, he replies. But trust me, there is something much more important we need to worry about. Time for a checkup. The doctor is giving her that piercing gaze, the one that says you messed up big time. He asks if she used that forbidden technique again. She just stands there, looking awkward as hell, avoiding eye contact. She finally admits it. Yeah, but give me a break. There was literally no other way out of that mess. Right then, her friend walks up. She looks totally fed up, asking if she's ever going to listen to a single warning. Then she reveals her arm. It is completely corroded, it looks nasty. This is definitely not your average battle scar. Turns out this poison is some new, super deadly variant. Talk about terrible luck for our crew. She gives her friend the injection, but drops a heavy truth bomb. This is the last time. Your body cannot take any more of this. The vice captain just smiles through the pain. She says she is already prepared for the absolute worst-case scenario. Meanwhile, our hero is internally screaming. The next mission is level 4, the exact same level where he almost met his maker. Total panic mode. He starts spiraling, thinking that everything is about to go sideways in the exact same way. He can practically see it happening. The same fear, the same mistakes, it is all rushing back like a nightmare. To stop the dark thoughts, he literally slaps himself in the face. Get it together, he tells himself. He vows to hold on. This time, he is absolutely sure he is coming back alive. No matter what. Cut 2. The beach. The vice captain and the guys are suddenly hanging out on the sand, playing volleyball. We have got Misaki, Tiana, and our protagonist all here. It is a full-on fan service episode, and honestly, we are not complaining. Our boy shows zero athletic talent, though. He takes a ball straight to the head while wondering if this is actually a level 4 dungeon. He is staring at the portal right before entering. He cannot wrap his head around the fact that this is a level 4 task. He knows level 4 should be a death trap, but at the same time, he is looking at a literal tropical paradise. Why does this place look like a normal beach? He wonders. Then the vice captain shows up, looking totally relaxed. She tells everyone to just chill out and cool off for a bit. Our hero is skeptical, to say the least. He asks if it is really okay to be playing around in a level 4 portal. She explains that the real task is underwater. So, they are safe for now, but soon they will be diving into the deep. One of the guys pipes up. He says that for the first time in his life, he actually agrees with Mimoda. Even the tough guys need a break. But the green-haired guy, Star, is not having it. Submerged or not, a level 4 dungeon is no place for games. Seeing Star's serious attitude, our boy is impressed. He thinks Star is incredibly brave and cool for standing his ground. He is looking at him like a true professional. A man of focus and logic, or so he thought. Then Misaki appears in a provocative outfit. She asks if anyone wants to play, and oh boy, things change fast. Critical damage. The green-haired guy takes one look at her and literally collapses. His cool factor? Reset to 0. A complete 180-degree turn. Now he says he will follow Misaki's lead anywhere, even if she... Total simp mode activated. Shortly after, we see the protagonist swimming underwater, noticing how weirdly bright it is. The vice captain checks the comms to see if everyone can hear her. Time to get back to the serious stuff. She starts explaining the mission again. No more games. They are heading toward a city sitting at the bottom of the ocean. The plan is simple. Find the boss, who they assume is lurking somewhere in those ruins. But simple does not mean easy. She warns them that they have no idea what kind of monsters are waiting in the dark. They need to be extremely careful. Suddenly, the redhead starts yelling at the rookie. He is clearly irritated and starts scolding him for no reason. Don't act all shocked just because things are finally going your way, he barks. The green-haired guy just watches them. He wonders what these two idiots are even doing. Misaki just sighs and says they are just being typical boys. The redhead keeps acting tough. I'm way stronger than you, kid, he claims, but something is wrong. Even as he talks big, his entire body is trembling. He is staring at something behind the rookie with pure terror. The bully slowly looks back, and his heart stops. He is standing face to face with a gigantic, terrifying enemy. Retreat. Everyone decides to run for their lives without a second thought. This is bad, like, really bad. The new goal? Get to solid ground as fast as humanly possible. Being underwater with that thing is a death sentence. Even while submerged, the green-haired guy prepares his stance. He is actually getting ready to fight it. The hero thanks him for the backup, but Star explains he is just paying back a debt he owes. Mimoda watches the chaos unfold, wondering if any of them are actually going to make it out of this ocean grave. They're deep inside the crystal cave, and the vibe is beyond tense. Green hair is like, look, swinging swords underwater. It's like fighting in slow motion, and he's not feeling it. His expert verdict? We need to retreat, and we need to do it now. Of course, Mr. Arrogant steps up, claiming he'll handle it solo, but the captain shuts him down instantly. Sit, stay, good boy. But the redhead isn't having it. He starts arguing, practically begging for a chance to show off his good side. Classic. The captain scolds him like a disappointed mom. If you release your full power here, you'll blow us all to bits. She tells him he's strictly on support duty. The real plan? A good old-fashioned team-up to take this monster down together. It's their best shot at survival. She looks at Mimoda and gives the order, draw your sword, it's go time. All 5 team members gear up, ready for an epic showdown, but then something weird happens. The creatures just... The redhead starts laughing his head off. See, they saw how strong I am and ran for their lives. Yeah, okay, buddy. Green hair isn't buying the hype. Dude, you literally did nothing. They probably just hated your face. Misaki ignores the bickering because she's just had a total eureka moment. A genius way for everyone to reach the sunken city safely. If this works, they won't have to play tag with sea monsters the whole way down to the ocean floor. She tells Jin to let his sword rip one more time. And just like that, boom. They've basically carved out a massive air tunnel. Misaki explains that seeing Jin's earlier attack gave her the idea. Now, they've got a clear path through the deep. Best part? No more worrying about becoming a monster's lunch. The blue-haired guy checks the walls, looks pretty solid. It's sturdy enough to hold back the pressure, meaning they can finally proceed without drowning. Small victories, people. Anuda starts whining to Sue, though. Why do you get to have all the fun with Misaki while I'm stuck back here? Green hair just hits him with a smug grin. If you don't like it, maybe try being more useful. Just a thought. Naturally, that sparks a whole new argument about who's actually the strongest. Honestly, do these guys ever stop? But our protagonist catches a vibe. He looks around, sensing something off. Something big is moving in the shadows. There it is, a giant shark, and it's currently busy smashing their sturdy tunnel into a million pieces. Well, Misaki is impressed but definitely annoyed. A bit early for a surprise boss fight, don't you think? Then she gives that sweet smile, the one that usually means someone's about to die. Is everyone ready? And they're off. The whole group starts hauling tail through the underwater world at high speed. The pink-haired girl is already feeling the burn. We need to save our stamina. How much further to the dungeon? The vice captain checks the distance. It's just ahead. We're looking at less than 50 meters. Almost there. They just have to outrun a massive apex predator that wants to eat them. No big deal, right? As they get closer, our boy finally sees it. A massive, glowing city sitting right on the bottom of the ocean. But that shark boss is incredibly persistent. The redhead is fuming the thing just won't take a hint and leave. It's closing in fast, and the protagonist is struggling just to make it to the city gates. He reaches the perimeter and spots some kind of shimmering barrier. It's now or never. He reaches out, touches the energy, and pop. He slips right through the barrier without any trouble at all. Suddenly, the captain comes screaming down from the sky, celebrating that she finally managed to escape the shark. But gravity is a cruel mistress. She lands directly on top of Mimoda, absolutely crushing the poor guy. A little later, she's dusting herself off. See, we made it out unharmed. Someone should probably check Mimoda's pulse, though. The area inside is like a giant maze. They're technically submerged, but there's zero water. It's weirdly dry. The vice captain notes that the monster seems to have given up. It's just circling outside the barrier now. Maybe it's because there's no water in here, or maybe there's a much scarier reason why it stopped chasing them. That's a comforting thought. The redhead isn't interested in the mystery, though. He's just ready for action. How long is the boss going to stay hidden, he grumbles. We need to hurry up and find the loot. Suddenly, something grabs the protagonist's foot. A voice from the shadows pleads, "Please, save me." Our hero freezes in shock. A person? Is it a survivor from another group? He's actually worried for a second. But surprise, it's not a person. It's a crazy, mutated scorpion thing with a serious attitude problem. Talk about a reflex glow-up. Our boy doesn't even blink. He draws his sword and strikes in one smooth motion. The monster is dead before it even realizes it lost. Even our hero is a little surprised by his own speed. Just as another monster lunges, that loudmouth bully has the nerve to tell him to stay sharp, calling him a total moron. The jerk doesn't realize the entire group is already getting swarmed. Those same creepy crawlers are everywhere now, and they even manage to snag Misaki in the chaos. Our hero lunges in for a desperate rescue, but things go south fast. He's way outmatched. Before he can even blink, both he and the hot-headed redhead find themselves completely trapped. Seeing no other way out, the bully decides it is finally time to flex his true power. He shouts that he is handling this right here, right now, maximum confidence, zero hesitation. Suddenly, his green-haired teammate grabs our protagonist and hauls him back to clear the blast zone. Shaking from the sheer intensity, the hero witnesses the raw, destructive force of that red-haired monster. With a smirk, the bully brags about incinerating everything with his ultimate secret technique. He glares at our boy and asks if he is impressed by that insane level of power. He clearly thinks he is the main character here, but then Jin approaches with a massive sigh. He calls his partner a complete idiot for using such an overkill attack in this tiny space. The bully just shrugs and sarcastically apologizes for being way more talented than his partner. Hearing that, Jin totally loses his cool, like his brain just completely short-circuited from the sheer disrespect. Gripping his blade, Jin tells the redhead to shut up so he can test his own sword. Mocking the whole situation, the redhead laughs, claiming Jin's little toothpick can't compare to his flames. Out of nowhere, these two start bickering like an old married couple while monsters are literally attacking. Misaki just rolls her eyes, saying they are always like this, so it is best to ignore them. While she scans for the boss, a system window pops up. Our boy just cleared a secret condition. After taking down 100 monsters, he finally unlocked a brand new skill. Talk about perfect timing. The hero realizes that for them to be this relaxed, their teamwork must actually be somewhat decent. But then, the vibe shifts. The hero feels a strange, terrifying vibration deep beneath his feet. Suddenly, the ground just vanishes. Everyone starts sliding down a massive hole like a deadly water slide. They plummet all the way to the bottom floor, bracing for a bone-shattering impact at the end. At the very last second, the green-haired guy triggers a skill to soften the group's deadly fall. They hit the floor, thankfully without breaking every bone in their bodies. That was way too close. The vice captain notes that the floor probably collapsed because of the massive explosion from earlier. Seizing the chance, Jin immediately blames the redhead for being a clumsy, fire-breathing wrecking ball. Round 2 of their shouting match begins, and they completely miss the massive shadow looming behind them. It is a giant squid, the dungeon boss, and it looks like it has not eaten in a while. Finally noticing the massive beast, they both quit arguing and draw their blades for the real fight. Taking her stance, the vice captain warns everyone to be careful because this boss is no joke. The arrogant redhead just laughs, saying this saves them the trouble of hunting the damn thing down. He slices off a tentacle in one blur, but wait, the thing just grows back instantly. The vice captain shouts that hacking at the limbs is a waste of time and pure energy. To actually kill this thing, they need to pierce the main body and do it fast. Misaki unleashes her ice powers to freeze the beast, but they still cannot get close enough. Frustrated, the redhead decides his new plan is to just cut faster than the monster can heal. That is his actual plan. Seriously. Jin just glares at him, asking if he is truly that simple-minded. There should be a limit to how dumb a strategy can be, even for a meathead. Suddenly, another creature lunges from the shadows, aiming straight for the protagonist's blind spot. On pure instinct, he spins and parries the strike with his sword. His reflexes are evolving. The monsters around them realize he is a threat, and a whole horde of tentacles swarms him. But surprisingly, our boy holds his ground, pushing them all back with one massive, powerful strike. Gripping his blade, our boy tells everyone to chill. He's a third squad member too, so he'll handle the small fry. Watching a rookie take charge like that? Yeah, the captain is looking a little embarrassed right about now. While the chaos unfolds, our hero is locked in thinking about how he's finally part of the team. His mission is simple: wipe out as many of these ugly creeps as possible to clear the field. Why? To give the squad a window to focus on that boss, even as the redhead realizes it's regenerating endlessly. Exhausted, the captain checks in on the rookie to see how he's handling the monster horde. The response? They just keep coming. The monsters are spawning faster than he can swing. Momon wants to help, but let's be real, the math isn't mathing and the monster count isn't dropping. He needs a delete all button, and he starts racking his brain for a way to wipe them all. Then ding! That familiar bell rings out, the exact same sound from his selection ceremony. A system window pops up. Congrats, kid. You just achieved the feat of defeating 100 enemies in one fight. Our boy's in shock. Is his sword about to evolve again? Is he becoming a literal god? Not quite. The system pings him with a brand new toy instead, the Clairvoyance skill. He's left staring at the screen like, wait, what does this actually do for me? No time for a tutorial. One of his eyes starts glowing as the ability kicks into high gear immediately. Suddenly, the world changes. He can see glowing targets and vital points all over his enemies' bodies. He follows the system's lead and strikes, and holy hell, the precision is absolutely unreal. It's official. Clairvoyance is a straight-up weak point cheat code for winning every exchange. One strike, one kill. He realizes he can dismantle these things like they're made of paper. Meanwhile, the redhead is complaining to the boy about how annoying and persistent these things are. But watch this. The protagonist steps in and saves the arrogant guy from being totally wrecked by a monster. One clean hit. The redhead is beyond irritated. He's practically fuming at how easy the rookie made that look. How'd you do that? He snaps. And Momon just casually mentions he can see their weak points now. The captain's completely lost, but then he looks behind him and his jaw hits the floor. Bodies. Everywhere. A literal mountain of defeated monsters piled up in the background. It hits him. The hero actually did it. He cleared the field in the blink of an eye. Now he's really curious, like, what is this guy's deal? He's definitely not your average rookie. Our hero doesn't waste time. He locks his new vision onto the boss to find the ultimate kill shot. Bingo! The weak point is right in the center of that cross-shaped mark on its body. But wham! A tentacle catches him off guard and sends the hero crashing into the dirt. Here comes the redhead to return the favor. He saves Momon while barking at him to keep his guard up. He demands the truth. Can you really see it? The enemy's weak points? He needs to know if Momon can actually time the strike perfectly to end this nightmare. Momon's honest. He says he just can't get close enough to land the finishing blow. That sets the captain off. He grabs Momon by the coat and tells him to stop whining like a coward. But then, he flashes a grin. He's going to personally deliver the hero to the boss's doorstep. He admits it. He's doing this because he knows this kid isn't just riding on luck anymore. Our bully shows his true colors. He really wanted to be the one to finish this himself. He warns Momon, if I find out you're just lucky, I'm beating your teeth in later. He can only hold the line for a short time because those tentacles regenerate at lightning speed. It's now or never. One shot, one kill, or they're both going to be monster food. Time for the big guns. The captain starts channeling his most terrifying, high-tier ability. He's in a total rage. A massive demonic aura starts pouring out of his body like liquid shadow. The whole squad is absolutely stunned. The pressure from this wolf's soul is beyond insane. He actually manages to pin the boss down, and right then, our hero charges in for the win. He goes in for the kill. But wait, holy hell, the monster is already regenerating its limbs. Those tentacles are back in an instant. Luckily, Anuna arrives just in time to play the hero and take the hit. He's wrecked and bleeding out, but he screams at our protagonist not to stop now. Even through the pain, he promises to get the boy closer, flashing a wild, determined grin. Just go. Don't worry about me. Mimoda takes the leap, charging straight toward the redhead. The redhead gives him a massive boost, launching him into the air like a human missile toward the beast. Flying through the air, our hero knows he's only got one shot to make this legendary play work. He refuses to fail after everything Anuna sacrificed. You can practically see the aura of pure determination radiating off him. This is it, the final blow. He delivers a deep, lethal strike with perfect precision, right through the monster's core. Suddenly, the sheer weight of Anuna's abilities surges through the fight, completely shifting the momentum. His arm takes a nasty hit in the process, but the monster is finally toast. Our hero sticks the landing. He leaps off the carcass to check on his fallen comrade while the vice captain and Jean rush over to help. The redhead is still acting tough, insisting he's too stubborn to lose. And finally, after that absolute grind, the dungeon boss is officially down for the count. Mimoda stares at the body, wondering if he actually pulled it off. Before he can even process the win, the captain tackles him into a massive, desperate hug. She's actually crying, calling him a reckless idiot, but man, she's clearly blown away that he actually won. She makes a promise right then, next time he's in a jam, she'll be the one to save him. Suddenly, the redhead limps over to our boy, looking like he's finally ready to show some respect. He tells him, "Nice job, but don't go thinking you can handle everything solo just yet." Classic big brother energy. Then, he actually extends his hand, acknowledging that the kid did a hell of a job out there today. Mimoda shakes it, feeling that sweet validation, but then the captain decides to group hug them both. She's beaming with pride, shouting about what an incredible duo they've become. It's actually kind of wholesome. "You both were amazing. Tonight, we party," she yells. But meanwhile, Jean is standing there with a look of pure dread. Something is wrong. Jean suddenly screams at the top of his lungs for everyone to look the hell up. Boom! A massive chunk of the ceiling smashes down right next to the boy. The whole place is falling apart. They look up and yikes. The entire roof is disintegrating. Jean explains the obvious. The castle is toast. Apparently, the structure just couldn't handle the sheer intensity of that final battle. It's coming down. The vice captain barks out orders, time to switch back to underwater mode and evacuate immediately. They've only got 3 minutes before the dungeon vanishes forever. If they stay here, they're dead. Everyone dives into the sea, swimming for their lives, when of course another monster shows up to ruin the exit. Anuna is already complaining about how persistent these things are. But our hero, he's locked in. Using his special ability, Mimoda spots the creature's weak point. He's got the target in his sights. "I've got this," Mimoda shouts, taking the lead and telling everyone else to keep moving towards safety. He grips his sword, charging the beast alone, thinking about how he's finally been accepted by the team. He's determined to prove his worth and become even more useful to the crew. But then, disaster strikes. Just as he's about to swing, his body locks up. He can't finish the strike as a massive warning flashes. A system error appears right in his face, and suddenly, he's plummeting into the dark, freezing depths. He's falling into the abyss, and sensing an easy meal, a massive shark moves in to finish him off. But nobody messes with her subordinate. The captain blazes in, hitting that shark with the ultimate murderous glare. Without a second of hesitation, she unleashes a brutal barrage of strikes, shredding the monster instantly. Even deep underwater, her sword skills are terrifying. But despite being saved, our hero keeps sinking. As he drifts toward the ocean floor, he's dazed, wondering what the hell just happened to his body. Then it hits him, his suit is completely trashed. He starts fading out, wondering if this is actually the end. But wait, he's still breathing? He forces his eyes open, and what he sees next is absolutely legendary. The captain is kissing him. It's a stunning, high-budget, perfectly drawn moment that'll have every fan screaming. Fast forward a bit, our boy finally opens his eyes, and the first person he sees is the captain. She hits him with a casual good morning, but honestly, seeing her right there sends him into total shock. Scanning the room, he realizes he's back in the infirmary and starts wondering how he got here from the ocean floor. Then it hits him. That kiss. The memory flashes back, and suddenly, his face is heating up faster than a microwave. Aina pops up next to our hero, but man, he's seen better days. He's wrapped in so many bandages, he looks like a budget mummy. Shaking like a leaf, the protagonist looks at his friend and manages to choke out a quick, "Dude, are you even alive?" The redhead just shrugs it off, mentioning he broke 30 bones and took massive damage. 30. Like it's no big deal. Our boy immediately feels bad for even asking. But wait, the redhead isn't done with his crazy talk yet. He claims he's heading out for the next mission soon, but the hero isn't buying it for a single second. He flat out tells him there's zero chance he's fighting anyone while looking like a walking hospital bill. But then he does a double take. Somehow, against all odds, Ina's right arm is still perfectly in place. Suddenly, the vice president appears for a chat. Mimoda is still sitting there, completely lost in the sauce. Not understanding anything, he wonders how he ended up back in medical. That's when they break down the rescue. Turns out Misaki went full beast mode, wrecked the shark, and dragged him back from the brink of death. He blacked out after his suit literally exploded, and for a terrifying moment, he had actually stopped breathing. They mentioned the squad made it back just in the nick of time. Any later, and it would have been game over. That's when it clicks. That kiss wasn't just a moment, it was the only reason he's still drawing breath. Anuta chimes in, dropping truth bombs. Apparently, all this happened because our boy got a bit too cocky after the boss. But then the captain calls him out. Wasn't he just acting like a worried parent over Momoto 2 minutes ago? Totally busted and embarrassed, the warrior denies everything, insisting he was actually talking about her the whole time. He explains they were ripped away from the group when the castle collapsed, leaving them totally stranded. In that exact moment, a notification pings on the leader's bracelet. Timing is everything in this world, right? She's been summoned to an emergency captain's meeting and says they'll pick this up during the next mission. The vice president, who sees through everything, notices the protagonist is practically vibrating with the need to say thanks. With a sweet look, she tells him that if he moves now, he can still catch Misaki before she disappears. He almost explodes from the sheer awkwardness, but he decides he's got to go do it right this second. Meanwhile, Inura is still clueless, asking why Mimoto is acting so nervous. The guy's way behind the curve. The vice president just smiles and says it's the beauty of youth. At that moment, the boy goes to find Misaki. He catches up and calls out to her. She stops, asking if something happened or if he needs something. He bows his head low, finally finding the courage to thank her for pulling him back from the edge. As he speaks, the look on the girl's face shifts into something completely different and much more soft. But then, the embarrassment hits him like a truck. That kiss is living rent-free in his head right now. He can't even bring himself to look at her lips. The tension is actually becoming a bit much to handle. Misaki, being the direct queen she is, asks him point-blank is he losing his mind over that kiss. Our boy turns redder than a spicy chili pepper and stammers out a very shaky yes. Poor guy is struggling. Feeling totally awkward, he begins to claim he doesn't really remember it all that clearly. Right? Sure, buddy. He shakes as he tries to explain it was just medical artificial respiration. But then, she cuts him off. She leans in and whispers that it'll just be their little secret. Mic drop. Our boy is absolutely stunned. Leaving him in a total state of shock, she simply says she'll see him again on the next mission. As he watches her walk away, he wonders has she always been this dazzling. He's seeing her in a new light. Then he feels it. A weird ache in his chest. He's genuinely confused about what's happening to his heart. Suddenly, a noise breaks the silence. He glances out the window and spots Saru. She's finally arrived. And here comes Jin. He's already questioning if Anuta has gotten too attached to the new rookie already. Saying that the kid is really simple-minded, the green-haired guy drops some shade on the vice captain. He warns him that he's being too soft and tells him straight up that he cannot trust him. Anuta has officially had enough of the drama. He snaps at Jin, telling him to quit the nonsense and finally give the rookie a chance. Sure, the kid is annoying, but his raw strength is the real deal. You can't just ignore talent like that, even if he gets on your nerves. But Jin, our green-haired skeptic, isn't buying it for a second. To him, that's exactly where the problem lies. He wants to know why a guy with so much power was fighting like a total amateur 5 minutes ago. How does a weakling suddenly start pinpointing every single... It doesn't add up. Jin's convinced the boy is either a master at hiding his true self, or he just hit some freakish, unexplained growth spurt. Either way, it's suspicious. This is why Jin refuses to trust him. He's not about to let someone that unpredictable watch his back in a fight, and he's not alone. He practically begs the vice captain to keep her guard up, too. And surprisingly, the blue-haired girl she's not saying Mimoda is a villain, but she can't deny his power is. Weird? It's too specific, too special. She's playing it safe. Until she knows what's really going on, she's not putting her life in the rookie's hands. Anuta just sighs. At this rate, it's basically just him and Misaki left on Team Mimoda. But our redhead isn't backing down.
He argues that not knowing everything is fine. Think back when their legendary swords first chose them. Did they know anything about each other? What matters is we're on the same side, he says. He's putting his full faith in the rookie. And honestly, it's so whole.
Right on cue, our hero enters the room looking for Jin. Talk about awkward timing. The arrogant green-haired swordsman is shook did he hear the whole...
Mimoda doesn't flinch. He walks straight up to Jin and faces the music. He admits it, he's strong, but even he's always fought his heart out alongside them, and he's not stopping now. I'll get stronger, he vows, and I'm not giving up until
It's a total watch me moment. The two of them just stare each other down, pure intensity. But Jin, he just scoffs.
he claims he's way too busy hunting monsters to waste a single second watching a rookie struggle. Typical edgelord behavior, right?
Anuta just tells the kid to ignore him. Jin's always been a prickly one. But then, the vice captain drops a serious curveball. She smiles, admitting she still doesn't fully trust him, but get this, she's still expecting great things from him. That's all the motivation our boy needs. He beams, promising to work his tail off to meet everyone's expectations. But of course, the squad bully has to ruin the moment. He hugs the kid like a bro, then immediately drops him into a brutal leg lock. Listen up, rookie, he grunts. He warns the kid not to expect any youthful romance with Misaki. Yeah, he's definitely being. Meanwhile, we cut to Misaki, who's off by herself, looking absolutely drained. But then, things get creepy. Really creepy. Some kind of dark horn starts growing right out of her body. She lets out this bone-chilling maniacal laugh. The time has finally come. She hit. Fast forward to the next mission, and the vibe is completely different. The group is trekking through a wasteland where the wind is absolutely howling. Mimoda tries to bridge the gap and approaches Jin. He's curious, could Jin help him upgrade his abilities? You know, like that insane stunt he pulled in the...
Jin shuts him down before he can even finish. Don't you dare assume you know how my power works just because you saw it once, he growls. He's actually insulted. He snaps at the kid, wondering why Mimoda thinks a pro like him would ever need help from a total beginner.
He tells the rookie to stop yapping and go waste his time on something else. Our protagonist is left standing there, feeling completely but the drama has to wait. Jin's eyes suddenly widen, he senses something dangerous. He reaches for his sword, a massive, terrifying tornado erupts out of nowhere, swallowing the entire group. This is not a drill, folks. The real fight is starting now. Switch gears. We see a girl totally isolated and looking completely drained. But then, a horn starts sprouting. She loses it, just straight up maniacal laughter. The time is finally here, she cackles. Yeah, that is not good. Fast forward to the next mission. The squad heads out to this place where the wind is absolutely howling. It is brutal out there. Our protagonist catches up to Jin to try and pick his brain for a second. He asks our green-haired friend if he can help him level up his skills, you know, like that tunnel trick. Jin's reaction? Cold as ice. He basically tells Mimoda to shut up and stop guessing how his powers work. Don't get cocky just because you saw me move once, he snaps. Ouch. Talk about a massive ego.
He doesn't even explain himself. He just insults the kid for thinking a pro would need help from a rookie. I mean, the disrespect is real. He treats our boy like he's nothing more than a minor annoying fly.
Then he drops the ultimate talk to the hand line. He has no time for small talk with a beginner. If you have time to chat, go waste it somewhere else. Man, this guy is a total jerk, right? Our protagonist is fuming, stomping around, visibly upset, and honestly, you can't even blame the guy for being mad. But wait, something is off. Jin's eyes sharpen. He senses it before anyone else and reaches for his blade. Too late. A massive tornado erupts out of nowhere, swallowing the entire group whole while Anuta watches on. Wait, is that a monster? Just as the thought hits, Mimoda spots something truly bizarre. Pure chaos. Jin's totally blindsided, wondering what kind of insane attack is coming at them. It's too strong, he yells, before gravity takes over and they start plummeting backward. Over the edge, Asaki tries to dive after them, but Nuna grabs her, holding her back. Stop. It's too dangerous, he warns. Going after them in that wild river is a suicide mission. Our hero is out cold, drifting into the deep, while Jin struggles underwater to save him. Finally, they break the surface. But man, Jin looks like he's ready to explode. What were you doing, you bastard? Classic Jin saving your life while calling you names. They scramble onto a floating log, barely keeping their heads above the rushing, violent current. Stay close for once, Jin snaps. Meanwhile, our boy activates his ocular wisdom. It is on. Even through the murky water, he sees them. Every single weak point on those monsters. Mimoda offers to step in, but Jin tells him to park it, thinking he can do it faster. But the boy isn't backing down. He argues back, insisting he's the one who sees the opening. Suddenly, Jin just loses it. He starts screaming at our protagonist, calling him a total pest. You're always trembling, he yells. He's sick of the kid freezing up whenever monsters appear. You're not a child anymore, so shut up and sit down. Talk about some harsh reality. But surprise! The hero lunges forward, actually moving fast enough to save Jin's skin. It's not enough. The attack shears right through the sword and hits the green-haired grump. Direct hit. Right at that moment, Sarami loses his footing and falls into the river too. The hero doesn't hesitate. He dives back into the depths to drag Sarami back to the surface. He pulls him up, but it's looking grim. Sarame is unconscious and he's not breathing. And then things go from bad to worse. They're heading straight for the end of the line. Waterfall. They go sailing over the edge, crashing down through the mist and the spray. Even while falling, his ocular wisdom is screaming. The weak points are right there, but there's a catch. He can see the target, but hitting it while falling, practically impossible. Suddenly, Jin snaps awake. Ugh, you guys are so incredibly irritating, he growls. He grabs his blade, and somehow, the absolute madman keeps them both suspended in midair. I won't be stopped by a little breeze like this. Now that is some serious elite energy. Boom! They finally hit the ground. Alive, but definitely feeling every bit of that impact. The green-haired warrior starts lecturing again. You should have just stayed quiet and let me. But he can't even finish the sentence. His body gives out, and he collapses right there. That injury was way worse than he let on. He's down, and he's down hard. Mimoda rushes over to check the damage. This doesn't look good, not even a little bit. He pulls up the pant leg and... yikes. His legs are shattered. How did this even happen? Jin groans, blaming the hero for his broken knee. Are you happy now? He spits out. Stop with the annoying apologies, Jin snaps. He doesn't want the kid's pity or his tears. Then he goes for the jugular. I never even trusted you from the very beginning. Ouch. That hits harder than the fall. Our hero looks like his entire world just crumbled. Suddenly, he's a kid again, hearing his family's voices calling him a useless, pathetic failure. I tried my best, he whispers. I should have known I'd just fail everyone again. But Jin broken legs and all stands back up. You're pathetic, he says, staring him down. You haven't even tried yet. How can you give up when you haven't even started? He questions the boy's conviction. Do you even have the guts to destroy a gate? The kid can barely stand. He's shaking. But Jin is pushing him to finally do something real. Now, he has to choose. Will he break, or will he finally trust in his sword's power? Jin explains that this ego trip happens to everyone in the Force because these magic swords, they are addictive. Most users think they are the main character. Jin, being his usual blunt self, gets straight to the point. He asks if our hero is just as arrogant. Mimoda tries to argue, but plot twist, he's got nothing. Jin leans in, close, intense. He tells him to ditch that outdated mindset and stop the self-blame immediately. Seriously, stop wasting time crying over what you could not do. It is a total dead end. It hits the hero like a truck. Jin is right, absolutely right. His sword, it is just a tool. It does not care about his feelings or who was watching over him. It is just cold, hard steel. He really thought that becoming a powerhouse would solve everything. Classic rookie mistake, right? Honestly, our boy starts to reply, but bam, a massive bird erupts from nowhere, totally killing the emotional vibe. The kid stares up in shock. Is this another one of those freakish monsters they just finished off? Looks like the nightmare is not over yet. This creature looks even more terrifying than the last ones. Instinct kicks in. The hero dives straight for the bird's beak, desperately trying to save his companion. Even while literally dangling in mid-air, he continues his confession. Talk about a dramatic multitasking king. He admits he has never had real conviction or achieved anything. He was just there, just existing. People laughed at him. Staying alive was a full-time job. His only real talent? Always running away. Yet, he still joined the Force. He finally found something, someone he actually wanted to keep safe. Then he asked the big question. Is that a good enough reason to start? It hits deep, man. The last thing Mimoda sees is his friend lunging forward, risking his entire life to pull him back. And that is where we leave it. If you do not want to miss the next part, hit notifications. See you in the next one for more epic moments. Peace out from Tobia's channel.